just finish all this makeup that I have and we just stick to eyes. So today I'm doing the ultimate test for a concealer. If you watch my Sephora video, you'll know how I feel about this concealer. But today is the ultimate test to see how well does it work, because it has many claims. It is hydrating, it has a radiant finish, crease proof, and this is the biggest one, it is self-setting. I'm talking about the Kulfi Main Match Crease Proof Long Wear Hydrating Concealer. It retails for 34 Canadian dollars and has 12 shades in it. Not a very large shade range, but I feel that it caters really well to us people of color. Now, according to the site, this is a medium coverage concealer which takes care of your dark circles, your pigmentation, and this brand is also vegan and cruelty free. Yes, I am living for a brand that has all these properties. Let's start with, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, you can do it right now. You just have to press on that subscribe button and hit the little bell icon. The shade I have is Mango Drop. This is what the color looks like. It says it's for medium tan skin tones. So I wanted to test this concealer on one side without any color corrector. By the way, I have a huge video on color correcting. You should watch that if you haven't. I'm going to color correct one side and I won't color correct the other side, just to show you the difference. Taking this on my beauty blender and I'll just start patting this. Now you must know that I already have some eye cream under my eyes. I've used, I think, the Skin Fix one. There, so this is how much concealer I would usually put. And you can see how the gray undertones of the dark circle are still showing through. I mean, it's not bad. You know, should I step back and all? But I think it's really brightening up the skin pretty well. What do you think? I think it just like really brightened up that space. But just that part where I had the dark circle is where I'm not liking the result. Now on this side, I'm thinking, let me just color correct. So let me just do that and I'll be right back. So this is like the grayish tone that I was talking about. And I think it's not only just the concealer, it's important knowing what you put under. So under this eye, I have my Bobbi Brown eye cream. Pick some of that up on my beauty blender. And I'm just going to stamp this concealer just wherever I want it. It's really light when it goes on, a very weightless feel. And the consistency of the concealer too isn't too thick. And I'm just going to use some just to conceal right there. So if you see, it is almost my natural skin tone. And this is what I was really confused between this and the extra lychee shade. You can't see much of those gray tones really popping through all that. So here, I'm just going to really press this into the skin. And guess what? I'm not going to be setting this side just to really test out this concealer. As for this side, I'm sure you can really see all those grayish tones coming through, and this is something that I don't like. We are going to remove this side. I am going to put some corrector. I can see some creasing happening, but it is kind of negligible, and also because of the fact that I haven't even set that side, I feel like some creasing will just happen. Also because of the fact that I have this underneath, it definitely changes the properties of the concealer. For this eye, what I want to do is I want to set it. So I'm just using my favorite powder and just set this. I don't know if I can get you closer, but this is how the concealer looks without setting it even the tiniest bit. And this side is how it looks after setting it. So while this is sitting here, let me swatch this concealer. I have 7 concealers here that I'm going to compare it to so that you guys can probably get a good shade match. Up here and down here is the Kulfi concealer. So I put a little K up and down. First, I have 2 NARS concealers here. One is Biscuit and this is also Ginger. Ginger for me is the more highlighting shade, whereas Biscuit is something that is closer to my own skin tone. This one on the outer side is Biscuit, and you can see how it is actually pretty close to the Kulfi concealer, maybe with a little peach in it. But Ginger, on the other hand, is way lighter. So definitely you can see the Kulfi concealer falls kind of in between these two. Next up, I have my Born This Way. The shade that is closest to my skin is Warm Beige. My highlighting shade in the Born This Way is called Natural Beige. In the Born This Way concealer, this one is Warm Beige. You can see how it has a little more yellowy tone as compared to the Kulfi concealer. Here is Natural is natural beige. It just looks like natural beige is a few shades lighter than the Kulfi concealer, but in the camera it just looks very white. Next up, I have Tarte Shape Tape in Tan Sand and in medium. We have Tarte here, so this one is Tan Sand and the one on its left is medium. What I can see is both the Tarte ones have a lot of yellow pigment in them, whereas the Kulfi one is actually quite neutral as compared to it. Next up, I have the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, and this is in medium sand. That is what the e.l.f. concealer looks like. I felt like the e.l.f. concealer was also definitely a little more liquidy as compared to all the other concealers on top, and it's just that e.l.f. has a little bit more yellow pigment in it and the Kulfi one is actually more peachy. Next up from Maybelline, I have the Age Rewind, and this is in the shade Golden Doré. This is the swatch of the Maybelline Age Rewind concealer. I feel like there's a lot of orange pigment in that shade, in the Golden Doré shade, so I don't know, maybe I would go with like the medium. I think there's a medium shade, but honestly I do not like the Age Rewind concealers. It just never worked for me. We're going to go on to the next one, which is the Clé de Peau concealer, and I have it in the shade Honey. This is the Clé de Peau concealer. You can take a good look at all of these swatches. I think you guys can get a better understanding of all the concealers that I've swatched here and what the finish looks like. Can you see how much radiance is there in the Kulfi concealer? It's so radiant. I hope you enjoy all this additional footage that I provide. Sit back and enjoy. Out and about for the day. We'll try and show you guys, if I can, how beautiful it is here today. It is very sunny, and that's why we've got some glasses. If you saw my US vlog, you would have seen this. This is like my neighborhood. That is my salon. Back from the salon for that midday check-in that we needed to do. But one thing that happened at the salon which I didn't know was gonna happen is I thought like a blow dry is just booked with the service, but I didn't know we needed like extra time, and I did book in quite late. So what I have is just my dried hair in my usual texture. I was really hoping that since it is my birthday tomorrow that you know, I would have like a blow dry and all that, but that didn't happen. But we're not here for that. We are here to take a closer look at that concealer. The time right now is 3 p.m. A few hours back something did fall in my left eye, and I think while kind of trying to get it out, quite a bit of concealer actually got rubbed off from here, because this was the side, if you remember, that I did not set. So thinking about it, I did wipe away some of that concealer, but as you can see on this eye, I've just lost a little bit from here somewhere. Could have been because of some water had fallen, but right now if I look, there is very minimal creasing on this side. I mean, there is some creasing, but the fact that I didn't set that and yet there is quite a bit of coverage, taking into account that I did rub my eye, I think it is doing fabulous on this eye. Whereas on this eye, you can actually see it's doing pretty good. I did set it with the powder here. So I would say, depending on how your under eye skin is and what has happened throughout the day, this concealer does crease. This is now 6 hours into it, and I think it's been performing exceptionally well so far. So what I'm gonna do is I am actually going to buy a small cake for myself, and there's gonna be some footage of the place that I go to, so enjoy that while you can until we check back in. We're looking for a nice place to eat this, and I was thinking here. This here is the coconut chocolate, and the one down is a pistachio one. This crown is so well formed. It's so good. So crumbly. And not sweet, not overly sweet. Now we're doing the pistachio one. The pistachio is so creamy on this one. It tastes like pistachio custard. Here's how it looks in natural light. Pretty good, right? I'm still pretty impressed. Okay, sun's on my eyes. And we're back here to do that check-in again. I'm so excited because the last time I tried a concealer this good was never. Let's go in and take a closer look. I know otherwise makeup is looking super patchy, but my under eyes, the fact that I didn't set this, there is obviously a little bit of creasing and you can't see it unless you like really stretch out that skin. And this has been almost 12 hours of wear because it's 8:30 right now. I think for almost 12 hours, this concealer has performed amazing because usually with other concealers I can see some cracking happening. I can't see any cracking happening with this. You can still see some of the radiance showing through, but I do know that most of it came off when I rubbed my eye. This is a 10 on 10 for me. I can't wait to honestly get my hands on extra lychee, but for now this is all. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you want to see what I got from Theory, the millefeuille, you can see all those pastry layers with all that. Looks so yum. And this is the chocolate marquise. Look at all that cream. The detail of this, it's like art, isn't it? Happy birthday and see you guys soon.